Hi guys, so for today's Freeform Friday, we're going to be trying out this Griffin set because I am dying to try it out. I believe it's still available there on HSN. Either way, I'll have links, in the description box. Those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So thank you guys for using those. Sorry I didn't have a video yesterday because in the morning I just kind of sat on my couch and labeled all my diamond press things. Let me show you. Let me see if I can grab some. Let's see these guys. Look at that. The mermaid set and the paper fashion set, and I have everything set up and alphabetized and pretty much everything that I have, I think, diamond presses in here. But anyway, really fun. And so I'm just waiting for my today special, which should be, I think, here today. Can't recall. But anyway, hopefully you guys are getting yours in. It sounds like a few of you guys have. So this is the square flip dies, and as you can see, I mean, it just makes a gorgeous card. And of course, what makes it gorgeous is all the different stickers and layers and everything she adds on here. So we're probably gonna do something very similar. Of course, I have tons of stickers, and I mean, if you didn't have the stickers, it'd still be a pretty card. But it feels like you need those extra bits, or maybe form some flowers, or however you want to do it. Of course, super easy. You just need the card base, which is this guy, and it's not even that big, which is really nice. The die itself. So yeah, so it's just not that big of a die. But anyway, we have the large medallion and the shadow layer. Of course, you probably want both of those things just to do all the different layers. Small medallion, medium medallion, the shadow layer B for this guy. So we have this guy, and then we have this one. So we'll see about that. Yeah, there's the different ones. Medallion A and Medallion B, basically. When she says shadow layer A, it sounds weird, but they're just talking about like the different A and B, whichever one's which, I don't know. Then the medium one also, A and B. And the border die, this is the prettiest thing. This is really what got me getting this. Well, I love everything on here, but look at that. And then I have all those china cabinet circle dies. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great. Let's see. So of course you just boop to make it fold, and then she's talking about these different things. And if you take the large medallion shadow layer, carefully align the circle on the card base to the center of the shadow layer and follow the instructions for die cutting. Cut out the remainder of the circle with a craft knife. Okay, I don't know about that. Couldn't we have just had like a single layer circle, which I probably have somewhere? We'll see about this. We'll see why that's a stipulation here. Because if I cut it with a craft knife a circle, it's going to look horrible. But that's alright. Okay, so we have this. Maybe it gets covered up somehow. Put the adhesive, okay, put that down, put all your pretty stuff and decorate it. So I'm going to take a moment to read why we're doing this. That's the larger one. That's interesting. If I can find a circle die that I have in my stash to do this with, that's what I'm going to do, guys. But basically they're saying is to take it, line it up, and then go ahead and put it through your die cutting machine, and it's going to cut everything except for this little bit, right? So, that's up to you. It's basically what I'm thinking is they want it to be the same as this one. We'll see. I might have a circle, like I said, in my stash that I can just use to cut that. Even though, yeah. Okay, let me grab some beautiful papers and we'll get started. Okay, so for my Friday videos, I try to use things that are in my stash also. So obviously this is a new die set, but look at this. So this piece of paper is cut already, but it's cut too small. So I was going to use that because I thought, this would be a good application for it, but I don't think that it will accommodate that die. Oh, let me measure the die for you guys too, because I know you guys might be curious. From die edge to die edge, it's like 6 1/8. From point to point. Almost 8 1/2, okay? So it definitely fits in an Empress, your Gemini Junior, I believe. Hold on. Well, let's get a plate real quick. Ooh, so it's right at the edge, but if you have a Gemini Junior and you still want to use this, what I would do is... Nope, it's not going to work. With the Empress, if something doesn't fit, you can run it through this way and then run the rest of it, if you have only the small plates. But in Gemini Junior, it has to go this way. So, I mean, hey, that to me is... too close. And then of course any larger machine will be just fine. So let me pick my papers. Maybe I'll use some of these papers as accents, that way I can still cut into them. But I was kind of liking this one because the other side is that bright green. So if we use that for the accent, so maybe I'll still find that paper in here. And this is just an old paper pack, and all it says is floral cardstock. So, kind of interesting. And then there's even some gold paper I've cut into in here, and there's some pink paper, but I don't want the pink paper. I think if anything, I'll go with some other color. And then we do have the smaller papers, you know, these 5x7s. Oh, and 6x6 too. That's interesting. So let's see. What I'm going to do is kind of think about all the different layers. And you don't have to cut the stuff at the beginning, because if you want to see it as it's building up, that's kind of how I would do it. So I think that's what I'm going to do, to be honest. Let's put this away. So what I do want to do is this one on this paper, and when it flips back, it's going to look the same. The paper is not like, oh, it flips back and all of a sudden you see that green side of the paper, because once it flips back like this, I'm not sure what I was saying, but either way, okay, so when you use this die, you are going to flip it, you're going to fold it and then flip it back, so this green is going to come up over, but then it's going to go back to this regular side. So I don't want to confuse you guys, I'm just letting you know you're not going to see too much of that green until we open it, and then you'll see a lot of it in that circle, or actually you'll see it through here. See this area right here? Supposedly. So I am going to run this through, and I think that's it for right now. I don't want to do anything else, just so we can see what this looks like. So I'll be right back. So it's funny, because I was going to use the back side of this, the green, for this guy, this part, but it's already going to be showing green here and then green there. I don't know. Maybe I'll use a different color, a different coordinating pattern. Die cuts really nicely. And so basically all we're going to do is this way and then fold it back. Okay? I mean, that's literally it. You're going to fold it in half like a card and then fold that piece back. And now we're going to decorate all of this. Super cute. Let me see what size this is. From the little point to the little point, it's a 6-inch square. So from this little point to this little point, it's 6 inches, and then 6 inches legit from up and down. Okay. So let me think as far as what I want to do with my papers, only because, like I said, I want to build it up as we go along. You can cut everything at the beginning, of course, but then when you layer it up, you might change your mind. You know, who knows? So, like I said, since the green's already showing through, we're going to have this layer inside, and then the frame on the outside. So I kind of think maybe I should go with something else. I don't mind going with another pattern paper like this one. There's pattern paper. But let me dig through the paper pack and see what other pattern paper I would like to use. Ooh, okay, look at that. And then I was kind of digging through the smaller ones, because what's the point of cutting into the 12 by 12? But yeah, this front and back side, and I think I'm going to use this one. Oh, wait, hold on. Well, yeah, this one. Just to bring more of that purple out, but I don't know if I'm going to use this side. Oh, this side, huh? It's going to cut away a lot of it. You're not even going to see it. That's kind of what's a bummer. But how pretty is that? Okay, so for this one that we're going to have to cut in a weird way in a minute, I'm going to use this, and then gold. Should we do gold? You don't have to do all the rings, just so you know. Like, you can do whatever you like. I don't know if you can see, like, this one has the smaller medallion, this one has the larger medallion, the medium-sized medallion. There's different ones, right? So if you want to use this one, or this set, or this little guy, or this little guy, or this medium one, so I mean there's 4 different things that you can mix and match there. I was just going to say, is this going to work? Of course not. Alright, gotta grab the full sheet. Gotta grab the full sheet of that same paper, and I'll cut this out from that, okay? And I'll be right back. Oh, and then I'm going to do this one from gold paper. And it does look like it has embossability, so if you want to emboss this, you know, you have a machine that lets you do that, go for it. This probably does not fit in the marquee, but I do want to mention, if you want the marquee to give you embossing, just run it through with the die, a piece of paper, and a piece of like craft foam. And I'm talking about like that fun foam the kids use, that just inexpensive foam. Run it through, and that foam pushes it up. Some people would cut it with like maybe 2 extra sheets of paper, so the paper you want plus 2 more, and run it through, and that thickness will make it push up in there. And sometimes you'll get the embossing anyway just running it through the first time, so you can kind of experiment with that. But like I say, I always start off with less pressure. I don't want to bombard my machine with too much paper, but okay, I'll be right back. Oh, actually, I used the 6x6 paper, and I try to reserve it as much as I could. This is really big, but you know, it's funny because the card doesn't seem that big. Like, even though it's a 6-inch square, or ish, it's a big card, you know? So again, we need to carve this out I was trying to center it, but it doesn't matter. It didn't really center. That's fine. Oh, it looks pretty on this side too, but since I carved into this side, this is the rough cut side. Okay, quickly, I just want to show you this guy. If you're going to, oh, look at that beautiful gold circle. We'll use that for something else. Maybe even for the pieces on the inside, you can definitely do that. I would turn this over carefully and see you can still emboss this. So for this machine, it has this rubber embossing plus this little guy. Same thing with like the Impress, you would just turn it over, switch out the magnetic mat for the rubber embossing mat, and pop that on there and run it back through, and it'll help you get that embossed look. Okay, so I kind of want to do what it says in the instructions just so you can see that it's doable as far as that weird, that should come out, okay. The cutting away the other part of the circle, but look at that, gorgeous. But what I'm saying is, if you have a circle die, you might as well, it's really just cutting the centerpiece. So let me look through my stash. I'm sure I have a die that's a circle that fits. We will see. I'll be right back. So I can see why she says to do what she says to do. So what she wants you to do, actually it's this way, I didn't show you like this, but that's pretty too, but she wants you to take this, center this, you know, something like that, right? You're just eyeballing at this point. Tape it down and run it through. And that's going to make these areas divot into your paper, but it's also going to make these score marks divot into your paper. And then with a craft knife, just finish it off. Finish off the circle so that you pop out the circle, just like the gold one popped out the circle. But I think this die is almost the same. There's still Crafter's Companion tape. Oh my gosh, you guys remember I used to fight with that tape all the time? This one's pretty darn close, and I think that's good enough for me. Actually, it would be really cute even if you had like a stitch circle, like the kind that would do the stitching on the inside, or on the outside, sorry, because some of them do it both ways. You have a little stitching, and maybe even smaller. You can use a smaller circle. Like, let's say we did that, but you want a little bit of the purple paper to still show through. You can use like a smaller circle. You know, and now you have a little purple ridge on the inside of the gold. I don't know. Play with it however you want. That's why it's Freeform Friday. I'm not going to do what the rules say there. But I can eyeball this, and actually I'm just going to center this. Of course, I'm just completely eyeballing it at this point, so that's the dangerous part. But you're eyeballing it when you put it on the other die anyway, too. So what I can do is check it out and then try and assure myself I have it in the spot I would want. And of course we can do measurements and things like that, but that's just too much work. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to put the tape towards the inside because that's what's going to trim away anyway. But we can also use that for something else. And then I can bring this back and kind of eyeball where that is and see about, you know, that's pretty good. I'm okay with that. All right, I'm going to run this through. Oh, there we go. And we're going to have that circle cut out. I'll be right back. Oh, that's so cute. Makes that little ridge. But anyway, let's see how this looks. It is not bad. You can kind of fudge it a little bit if it's not exactly, because it's a little different, right? So I can kind of mess with it until I think it looks right. So that goes around here. I'm going to go put some lotion on my hands, but also cut some other pieces. So this feels very thin, you know, but I think once we glue it together, it'll feel more sturdy. So what I'm going to do is cut these guys, and I think I'm going to put it on both sides, because why not? We're going to go extra today a little bit. I think this die set needs extra. Usually I try to tone it down. You guys know how my style. Quick, kind of, you know, easy, a little bit pretty. So I'm going to cut two of these. One probably from here, and then turn the other one and kind of nestle it in there so we can get both of these guys from this pearlescent paper. And I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, you guys, look how pretty this one is. And of course you can use this on any card that you have. Sorry, I heard a weird noise. What is that? Okay. Look at that. And then those will go in here and here. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's start gluing. Let me put some of these things to the side. Alright, so I'm just going to glue these together. I want to see something, because basically we're just going to put them on, right? Yeah, she's just saying put adhesive on the one side. Okay. Let's see here. I don't really feel about putting glue on my hand. It's like 6 in the morning. It's a little early for all that. So I'm just going to go around and carefully put glue on all the edges, okay? And I'll be right back. Okay. And so pretty. Oh, come on, Nouveau. So Nouveau Deluxe Adhesive is awesome, but you got to work with it pretty quickly. So I'm just going to line that up and hold it down. I think it's symmetrical. I don't see that there would be a problem. Bring it down more this way. Okay. So if you're new to using this, I would say don't push things down until you're happy with it, because it'll hold real fast, as you can see, but you know. Okay, and then this guy's, I'm going to do the same thing. This is interesting because it does this. I guess I could, do I want to go around the whole edge? Bend it. I think this wouldn't be problematic because it's such a small little area, so that's fine. I'm going to glue this one down completely, and when I come back I'll show you what I'll do with that one, okay? I was just remembering something, so before I forget, I was going to tell you what size this circle die is. That way if you have one, you can measure that, or you can measure it, you can use it. It looks like 3 5/8. You see the half, and then it's another eighth. So it's like 3 5/8 inch circle. If you have the diamond press set, it is the second to the largest one. There's one more bigger, but it's the second one. Okay. So for these guys, I think I'll just glue it down and then just give it a bend, and it shouldn't be too problematic, like pop-up issues. I don't think so. So small. This is how I glued it. I just put glue and I ran down that thick area and then just a little bit around here. I didn't even bother with the doily part of it. And I think that'll be good. And what I'm doing is lining up that center point and then going from there if it needs to be adjusted one way or the other. That looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm just going to glue it down, and as I do that I'm going to give it a bend. Because again, this is the other thing. It's an out fold like this. It's usually when it's a, I say out fold, I guess that's a mountain fold. When it's a valley fold, that's when you have the problems with like pop-ups. These kind of folds don't really cause too many problems. But I am going to hold that down, and I'll be right back. Okay. So it's a little bit wet. I'm still training it just to make sure we have a good fold and not too much of a problem there. It still does want to come away though. I guess you could chop it off if you wanted to. You see what I'm saying? Because for the same reason as the mountain fold, it's a valley fold back here, and that means there's two pieces, you know. Alright, you know the whole thing. Alright, so now you're going to put glue on half of this and glue it to this side. Look at that. So pretty. And you know, however you want to line up your circle, if you want to line it up from this scallop to this bottom scallop or whatever. So that's what I'll do. I'll pay attention to that scallop, to this scallop. This edge should completely touch everything up to like here. I'm going half and half. And hopefully that'll work. Okay, I'm not laying it down yet until I've committed here. That looks good. Okay. So pretty, you guys. Again, you know, whenever we have to make up our own cards from paper, I think she even has sets of paper that you can cut, and they'll have like designs made for this die, which I don't see. I just never buy those kind of papers. Because once you run out, you still got to make your own cards, right? So I just start from the beginning. I know, like the pop-up cake, she had papers that are pop-up cake and use your own dies, but oh, you guys, it looks very pretty. Oh, and you know what? This actually covers where that looks funky a little bit. Ah, so pretty. Okay, so now, again, we have all these other bits that we can work with. You know, which one do you want to use? And I'm kind of feeling this one, which is funny because, and then you still have even the smaller one, but I'll probably use a sentiment or a circular sentiment that I have in my stash somewhere. Hopefully I have something that matches this. I haven't even looked. I should have probably built off the sentiment. And this one goes out that far. If you want to use this one, let me just show you. It's a little bit smaller. I don't know if you can tell. I mean, like the smallest amount smaller. So you can see more of the background paper, that green, if you wanted, instead of this one. Whatever you like at this point, or at the whole time. Okay, let me think about what papers I want to cut with this, and I'll be right back. Again, it's going to be running through this with one color paper, running this guy through with whatever other color, and then running it through the embossing sandwich too. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, guys, so I just ran this through the marquee real quick, and then I was like, oh, you know what? We can bring some of that white paper back, and I think, yeah, look at that. That little scrap, the way I cut it out, works for this perfectly, and this will give me a chance to show you what I mean for the marquee. So this is just like craft foam. And I'm going to cut it, you know, just about the size of this. So if you're new to the marquee world and you haven't seen this video, I put out this video a long time ago because it was just something I thought might work, because I know you can cut foam with the marquee, and it totally worked, and everyone was like, I think I call it like game changer in the video because it's awesome. So dye, paper, foam, and all in one pass, inexpensively. You're going to get your embossing and everything else. If you can also pop this out if you wanted to use that. Let's say I use the coordinating paper and I can glue them together, so now you have a dimensionality. But what I usually do is I keep that and I pop it, I use it again and over until I can't use it anymore. But look at that. The embossing's there. It looks awesome. And then this piece, if I wanted to run it through later with some other dye, put the paper, put this, and run it through again. So you can just leave it there intact, or you can pop it out because it'll come out. I don't know if you can see that. That way you can reuse it several times. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so as we're building this up, okay, we have lots of layers. Again, do I want to keep these flat? So funny, I cut the flowers on purpose, and you can't even see them, but that's all right. We can pop that in there, and then our sentiment and things, or do we want this kind of raised up from that one? I think that might be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down straight up. And that way, whenever somebody peeks behind there, you can see maybe a little bit more of the pretty little flowers. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. And I'm actually going to use the Anna dimensionals. I would say what's funny is that I put them in a place where I would find them, and I always misplace them. They're right here. They're one of that diamond press storage they put out last time. And so they're right next to me in a good spot, and I always forget, because usually they're just anywhere. Alright, so I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of these guys, or this guy, and I will be right back. Take the little carriers off and all that. So I was just going to say, I mean, I had so much fun going through all my diamond press stuff, refreshing my memory of what I have and different ideas and using them going forward. I mean, it's just, it was so much fun putting them all together. Let's see. And for that same reason, I had to go through pretty much everything in my stash, because I was sorting, cleaning up, and moving things away to put other things, you know. Why does that look like crooked to me? Looks like that one goes there. This goes here. Okay, that's better. And people always ask me where I got this. I got it on HSN. They don't have it anymore. It's Anna Griffin set, but look how tiny these guys are, and then it goes bigger and bigger. So like I put some of those tiny ones on the very edge, so that'll help hold it down. And I'm just gonna go look for sentiment and flowers. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, let's see what's in here. I dug through some of the other ones, but this one has feather, sentiments, and embellishments. This is really old, actually. Look at that. Perfectness already. Let's see what we have here. Make a wish. That's a lovely sentiment. Sorry, I just want to dig through here. I don't want to make too much noise for you guys. I mean, hugs, prayers, love. Right? I mean, that one looks pretty. I like this, but it's pink. If they had one that was purple or like greenish and a circular, I think that gold one. Oh, hold on. Whatever this purple one says, it's gonna go. Sending you a hug. Perfect. Oh yeah, that's what we're using. Okay. And then I'm gonna go through this other bag. Oh my gosh. I know she just came back with the feather dyes. They probably sold out, because those always sell out. But I had bought them a long time ago when they first came out. And I don't even know where they are. I know I have them. Well, that's not true that I don't know where they are. I know where they are. There's only a certain place that have my Anna Griffin stuff. But I gotta find them, right? I gotta dig them out. Oh, this is really big and really beat up and way too much. I thought this had flowers in it, but it's mostly weird stuff, so let me... That is crazy. No, I'm not going to use this set. I'm going to look for some other flowers and just pick them out, and I'll be right back. This is very interesting. This is what we're gonna do. Again, not too over the top as far as the stickers, because you know how I do, but if you have little swirls and all that other stuff, definitely do that. Ugh, I do not want to damage the front of this. Oh. Let me see if I can get in between here and not mess up the, you know what'd be nice is if these had that little parting where they were cut, a little slit, because you can get in there. Otherwise you're picking at it and then, you know, kind of damage this guy. Now, I didn't think about putting a flower with this. I'm not pushing it down yet. I want to see that it's more or less straight. Sure. So if you want to put something small like in here with it, it's going to have to be really small and kind of on this border, right? Now this guy I'm going to stick down completely, I think. Oh, okay. I'm not going to tear that again. Now, sometimes with this kind of thing, I just put my own glue and I don't bother with the sticker part, but I'll just show you what I do if I am going to bother with the sticker part. Oh my goodness. There we go. Sometimes it's easier than others taking that off. This part I don't want to stick, so I'm just going to tear all that, but leaving the paper backer on there. And then I eyeball this again. And before I really push it down, I want to make sure everything works. You know, the card's not going to open up completely, but that's okay. Because that's in the way, you know. Now, this is a beautiful card. I don't exactly know what's up. Like, oh, cool. I mean, that's pretty, right? It's fun. You're not going to write a note in here because, I mean, I guess you could write it like just right here. And I guess I could have shown you guys how to do the little trick where you have a third flap, which I've done in the other Stamps of Life videos that I've done for flip cards. Basically, you extend this and then you fold it over so that when you use your die, you leave it off the edge. But it might be a little more problematic using it with this one because that little point, it'll look kind of funny. But hopefully you guys know what I'm saying. And if you want to check it out, check out some of my Stamps of Life flip card videos. And this one I'm not going to tear, I'm going to glue because so much of it's going to be hanging off. So might as well just put some glue right here. Make sure it's sturdy. And I'm just placing that guy right there. Now, what I want to check is that, yeah, you really have to clear that circle with this one because you don't want it to interfere with it opening. So I'm going to hold this down and then we'll see what's up. Okay, guys. I mean, look how opulent it looks. And we came up with this on our own. So that's the thing. I think that's what's hard and what people have questions about a lot of times is how do you make the card look nice? I mean, maybe next time, I don't know if I would use that bright green in the background. Oh, you can also use your other die as a circle die and, you know, change the color if your paper is a color you don't like on the back. You know what I'm saying? You can cut out another circle. Or like that gold circle that popped out in the center. I could have popped it right there and nobody would know that that green paper was there. Anyway, there's lots of ways to use it. Super cute. I guess you can put your note back here. You can put it in here. And then, of course, you can write it on the back, maybe with a signature card, or just write whatever it is you're going to write. Add a little piece of cardstock or something. But really pretty. Super gorgeous. I'm really glad I have this set. I couldn't wait to play with it, and I'm glad I got the moment right now. All right, guys. Like I said, the kids are home for the 4-day weekend, so that's another reason why I've been kind of quiet here. But hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. I didn't mention is that these flowers are from the Roses and Hydrangeas set, which is always going in and out of stock on HSN. But again, if you want to pop over to Anna Griffin's site, I don't know what she has there, but she might have them. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye now.